In the first installment of the movie John Wick, when the retired assassin John came out of retirement to avenge the killing of his dog, the manager of the Continental Hotel by the name of Winston, who was like a father figure to John, tried to impact on him the consequences he might suffer if he decides to return to the fold. In their conversation, Winston got as serious as he could, looking into John's eyes as intensely as he could, and said to him in a calm and empathetic tone, "Have you thought this through? I mean, chewed down to the bone. You got out once. You dip so much as a pinky back into this pond, you may well find something reaches out and drags you back into its depths." Of course, John didn't listen. The consequences of his action led to every assassin in every corner of the planet wanting to kill him. 3 more movies later and 439 kills later, he ended up forfeiting his own life. I believe that John himself on some level knew that there was something lying in wait in the pond. Something he initially did everything he could to get away from. And he knew that this thing will reach out, grab him and drag him back to the clutches of hell. But John was hurting, and he didn't care about the consequences. This pinky in the pond analogy is an accurate representation of why most guys relapse on their NoFap. And this leads me to the first step to never relapse again on your own NoFap. Step 1. Don't edge. At a point on your NoFap, I'm sure you've said to yourself, "I'll just take a peek. I'll just stroke my John for 2 minutes. I won't go all the way." Well, how did that work out for you? In case you don't know what edging means, it's simply the act of either taking a peek at adult content or fapping for a little bit and stopping just when you're about to orgasm while you're doing NoFap. Edging is the pinky we all dip back into the pond of our addiction, and something reaches out, grabs us, and pulls us back into the trenches of relapse and binge fapping. What happens when you edge is that your brain releases a little bit of dopamine, and you can be rest assured that your dopamine-addicted brain will go looking for more of this dopamine. And you might not know how it happened, but you are already having a full-blown relapse. The solution to relapsing this way is that if you're going to do NoFap at all, don't edge at all. Think of me as your Winston telling you not to dip your pinky into the pond. Believe me, it isn't worth it, and you'll end up relapsing. Step 2. Filters, filters, filters. Doing NoFap without installing filters on your devices is like an alcoholic trying to stay sober without ridding his house of all the alcohol in his fridge and storage. For some weird reasons I can't comprehend, when I talk about installing filters for NoFap, a lot of people criticize doing it. They claim that installing filters on their devices is a reminder that they're still an addict, and they won't be able to recover this way. Well, the one thing I agree with them on is the fact that if you're an addict, you're an addict. And being an addict, you have to create as much barrier as you can between you and your substance of abuse, which in this case is high-speed internet adult content. At different points during your first 2 months of NoFap, you'll have intense cravings, and not having a barrier between you and adult contents online is leaving your NoFap to chance. You're just an unsolicited ad pop-up or a random hot girl's picture on social media away from a full-blown relapse. And this is just too easy. So if you are serious about not relapsing ever again on your NoFap, installing filters on all of your devices will improve the odds of doing that significantly. I can't overemphasize the importance of this step enough, and the majority of people doing NoFap never take this step seriously. It wasn't until I got serious about NoFap and installed filters that I stopped relapsing like every other day on my NoFap. There are good filters out there that aren't intrusive and won't affect your day-to-day online activities. One such filter is the Covenant Eyes filter. This filter has been around for more than 22 years. It has stood the test of time in its effectiveness, and in the process has helped millions of people break this dreadful addiction. There's a link to the Covenant Eyes filter in the description of this video. If you click this link, you'll be hooked up with a 30-day trial to get you started on your NoFap journey in the best way possible. Also, if you end up getting the filter through this link, I'll receive a commission that will go a long way in helping me maintain this channel and continue making helpful videos like this one. Step 3. Get accountable. This is one aspect of recovery that doesn't get discussed enough, especially when it comes to fapping addiction. I get it that as masculine men, we need to be as stoic as we can be. But I think our generation is taking stoicism to a level of suffering in silence and suffering alone. I get that you don't have to be a baby about every little one of your problems and whine about every little thing to anybody who cares to listen. But when you've developed a pathological addiction to fapping, I think an exemption from stoicism can be made on this particular issue. I'm sure Marcus Aurelius would want you to get help by getting accountable. As a matter of fact, the most masculine thing you can do for yourself right now is telling your guy friends about your addiction and making them hold you accountable. And don't be surprised that some of your friends would be in the same fapping boat. So you can even be each other's accountability partner. As humans, we're on our best behavior when we know someone we respect or love is watching us. Getting accountable is now as easy as it can be. And it's much more effective than just calling your accountability partner after the fact, after you've already relapsed. The Covenant Eye filter I talked about earlier comes with a one-of-its-kind accountability feature that allows you to enter the email of your accountability partner, which sends a report of the times you tried to access adult content to this person. As a result, this person can do check-ins with you to find out why you wanted to relapse. He can also remind you of why you're doing the challenge in the first place. And this could be the barrier that saves you from the relapse. Anybody can be your accountability partner with this feature, and all you'll need is their email address. If you don't have guy friends that can be your accountability partner, you can open up to a member of your family and request a person to hold you accountable. If you can't do that either, you can go on the NoFap forums, look for someone that you feel is a person going through what you are, and ask nicely if that person can be your accountability partner. If you can't do that also, you can look for my email address on my website and message me. And I'll reply you, and we can arrange for how I can be your accountability partner or get you someone to hold you accountable on your NoFap journey. But make sure you've already exhausted all the options I outlined before messaging me. Step 4. Adjust your willpower system. You need to realize that you don't have unlimited willpower when it comes to this particular addiction. Otherwise, you won't have ever relapsed on NoFap before. Willpower is like a currency that gets depleted every time you resist an urge to fap. By creating barriers between you and your addiction with Step 2 and Step 3, you've already significantly reduced the intense need for your willpower system. But that doesn't mean you won't still need your willpower system to complete the challenge. Your goal is to tune up your willpower system so that when you do need to use it to resist cravings, it's available in abundance. The most important thing to do to tune up your willpower system is to avoid sleep deprivation like a plague. Sleep deprivation is the foremost killer of your willpower system. You should aim to get quality deep sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours a night, on at least 8 days out of 10. I did a comprehensive video on how you can increase the quality and the quantity of your sleep, which you can find up here. Another way to tune up your willpower system is to optimize your diet for it. The general rule of willpower thumb is to avoid highly processed foods and sugar as much as you can, because these foods raise your willpower sharply and crashes it for longer periods. Your ideal willpower foods are foods with a low glycemic index. These foods insert sugar into your bloodstream and then to your brain in drips. Examples of such foods are most high-protein foods, some fruits like banana, and so on. Step 4. Try the DRT technique. If you've followed all the steps in this video so far and actually applied them, and you're still relapsing, then it's time to try my DRT technique, which is short for dopamine replacement therapy. I have a video up here where I break down the DRT technique in detail. You should check out the video to learn how to apply the technique. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. If you found this video helpful at all, please destroy that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss it when I drop videos like this in the future.